Hello, welcome to episode 179 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is stop sweating the small stuff. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin. Now, I want to welcome you back to this podcast episode. I want to tell you a little story, and it is a story that I see inside when I coach clients, inside of myself when I first started out, inside of the game where I unplugged my brain out from being a trainer inside of the gym, out from working in a job. And just because I had control of my job, it didn't mean I had a business. A business is something that you can leave that makes money for you when you are not in it. Unfortunately, I was in my job as a personal trainer with an Australian business number. And as soon as I unplugged from that game, I started to step up into marketing, sales, fulfillment. I had to learn. The biggest thing that you need to learn right now is how do you persuade and influence a prospect who is and who does not know who you are, who is on the other side of the world. How do you persuade them? How do you influence them to take out their credit card, put it in the digits, and actually pay for your product or your services? That is the holy grail to this. And ultimately, business is all about solving problems. If you can solve somebody else's problem, you're going to get paid for it. Now, if that problem is currently being solved by a million other people, that is, your prospects believe that their problem can be solved by supplement pills, fat loss pills, personal trainers in the gym, gyms, Instagram models. They're all solving the same problem. They will not come to you. You're going to have a hard time getting traction. It's called supply and demand. Now, inside of this game, when I first started out growing my online fitness business, I was sweating this small stuff. And the thing I needed to ask myself was, if I'm going online to build a business of freedom, if I want to be big, why am I sweating the small stuff? Why am I sweating when my ads are going from $1 a lead to $1.25 a lead? Why am I sweating the small stuff? Why am I sweating the small stuff when I wake up, checking my Facebook, wondering why people are commenting crap? Why am I sweating the small stuff where I feel like every morning when I wake up and I need to look at my phone and I need to be a servant to all of my clients, because if they're not there for me, they're going to run away? And you see, because I was sweating the small stuff, because I believed that that's how my business should have run, I ran it that way. Now, if you're going to run your business this way, let me give you a piece of advice. A piece of advice I can give to you is you are going to lose all other areas of your life. My relationship broke down with my partner, Kerry, in 2015 because I was breaking down. I was sweating the small stuff. I was on my phone consistently. I was checking my email. Things had to be done, and I told myself a story, and that story was, if this does not get done, my business is broken. And Kerry, you do not understand, so you do not get to talk. And I was one of the most selfish pricks going around, and I expected her to understand. And the reality is, if you're building a business this way, you are building it wrong. And I need you to change. I need you to change, right? I'm telling you this out of my own heartache. If I didn't change, guess what? I wouldn't be here today. I'd be drowning. I'd probably be back at the gym. But here's the thing. I changed and I started to ask myself better questions by not sweating the small stuff. I said, number one, how do I build a business where people chase me? And then I started to realize that if I skewed supply and demand inside of my favor, people would chase me. If I did something nobody else would do, and I entered a market and there was just one of me and people wanted what I had, then I would grow a business and people would chase me. If I started to value my time and not give away free strategy sessions, guess what? People would start chasing me. I would then have to solve the problem of, how do I get people to chase me if I'm not going to give out free calls? How do I get somebody to pay $100 to speak to me about a product that they don't even know they want? So why I'm coming to you today on this short podcast and kind of stuffing up a lot is because I want you to not sweat the small stuff inside of your business. I want you to think, okay, how would Tony Robbins run his business? How would Gary Vaynerchuk? How would Tim Ferriss? How would Richard Branson? All of these thought leaders that you're up to, and what would they do? Are they sweating the small stuff, or are they focusing on the big stuff? Because here's the thing, if you sweat on the small stuff, if you're looking for weeds along the way, you're going to get buried in them and you're never ever going to grow your empire. Today is about you putting away sweating the small stuff, removing those limitations, removing those beliefs, because they're actually not helping you move forward. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.